So this is the first Tuesday tip video we're doing of the year. And so welcome. We're going to break it down into three parts. So part one, we're going to be discussing planning the year. Part two, we're going to discuss how to go about to safeguard your documents. Part three, we're going to talk about how to work with the year that just ended. So let me get started with part one. So part one, we are simply saying the year just ended, so prevention is always better than cure. So what we're gonna do now is plan for the year ahead. And the first step to planning for the year ahead is to take every month, take your pay slip, look at your pay slip, look what is on there. There's three sections on your pay slip. There's the income, there is the contribution, and there's the deductions. So we're gonna look at the income. The first thing you do on the income side is you look at the any other income other than your normal income. So you'll see things like travel allowance, you'll see things like subsistence allowance. Look at those, make notes of those. Make note of those. If you received a travel allowance, go get a logbook. If you received a subsistence allowance, make notes of when you traveled, where you traveled to, put together those receipts. So that's the first step under income. Second step, look at your contribution or the contribution section. That's the company side. That is considered a fringe benefit to a certain extent. So if your company contributes to your provident fund, your medical aid, make note of it because that in itself is income, additional income. So make notes of it, write it down because that can come back to bite you. So every year, every month, write down how much that is. And at the end of the year, calculate it. Second, and also, by the way, sorry, before I forget, collect the information. So if they contribute towards a provident fund, collect the provident fund, start making notes. At the end of the year, contact your provident fund provider to say, can I get my tax certificate? Thirdly, look at the deduction sections. This is where you could potentially get your money back from SARS. So it's simple. You pay tax through your pay slips on a normal day. SARS says, no, you can get your money back. Just provide us documents that we were not responsible for you as a citizen. Things like medical aid. So you make note of those deductions you can claim back. So make notes of them so you can claim those when the time is right. Simple, right? So look at your income, the company's contribution, as well as your deductions. Simple. I hope that helps. Part two. So for those of you who don't know where to store your documents, this is what part two is for you. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to create a Gmail or Gmail account and or Google account. Simply call it, for example, of mine, it will be nana.tax@gmail. Simple as that. Do that. That you're going to use it to store all of your documents because you get 5 gigs worth of Google Drive. So you will then go to your Google Drive, create a folder called year end 2025. That's for the current tax year that we are in. For the previous one, you will say year end 2024. So what you then do on a monthly basis is when you collect information, you store it there. So if it's a logbook, you've got a logbook, you store it there. That way, at the end of the year, you don't have to worry about looking for this because it's already in your Google Drive that is separate from everything else. Google Drive that's geared specifically to your tax affairs. What you can also do is when you travel somewhere and you receive a subsistence allowance, like we said in part one, you can send yourself an email to this specific email to say, headline, going somewhere from this date to this date. Then you jot down what you were going to do there. And then you send it to yourself. When the year comes, you can easily search subsistence allowance or traveling. You'll see the emails that says, oh, I traveled to this place on this date. That way, when you ask your HR for a letter, you can at least have dates where you can prove to your HR that I went here and did 1, 2, 3. Makes it easy. So creating that email, it's a sure win step. So I hope step two or part two helps you safeguard your information. Part three, the year just ended. So now what you need to do is every month for the next 5 to 6 months is look at 3 months of the previous tax year. So that will be March, April, May. That's what you're looking at this month. Is look at your payslip and start collecting information. If there was medical aid contribution, you start collecting information for your medical aid. If there was provident funds, you start collecting provident fund information. If there was travel allowance given to you, start looking at the logbooks for those 3 months. So every month deal with 3 months until July. So that way, when your tax is due in July, you can simply pull all that information together easily rather than you having to worry about where am I going to find my logbook? Where am I going to get my medical certificate? Where am I going to get my provident fund certificates? Where am I going to get my interest? What? You've done the work over a period of 6 months. So you tackle 3 months every month. It's actually over a period of 4 to 5 months, by the way. So you've done the work. Every month you are looking at 3 months. And trust me, by the time you do your tax returns, it'll be so quick. You'll get your refund so much quicker. It'll make the audit process so much easier for you. And if your audit process is good, SARS won't come back and try and test you the following year. They'll be like, okay, cool. He's got history of proving himself. Trust me, it's a sure win for me. You combine those three, you are good. With that being said, remember love, peace, and prosperity, man.